Hey everyone, Mike Klingler here with a follow-up to the Unifii program. You may recall I did a video with some skepticism, which I think is understandable from what I've been through and many of you have been through over the last 9 months in the cryptocurrency space. The reason why this is rather exciting is because I've learned some some pretty monumental things that has shifted me in a big way on this. And I'm going to go over those really specific. This is time sensitive. I'm going to try to be as brief as I can because I don't want you to miss it because I'm long winded. And yet there's a lot to cover. So I'm going to do my best to move through it rather swiftly without missing anything important. We're building a matrix. I had mentioned that before, but I had some concerns. And the concerns were some issues around FTC compliance, and more importantly, SEC compliance. I've got quite an extensive understanding of the issues, but there are some things I wasn't aware of that I am aware of after talking with the CEO of Unifii. And I'm also extremely impressed on the product. And again, the main part that I'm looking for is the cryptocurrency education for newbies, but it's so much bigger than that. And that really impressed me. So I want to cover that. But I already, I think, if you've gone to the site, you've seen it's very well put together for something that hasn't launched yet. Usually they look pretty janky before they've launched. This is really well put together, and it's because of the experience that Ron Monterulli has, who I spoke with for a couple of hours, by the way. I spoke for many, many hours with their CMO, their head marketing guy. I was extremely impressed with him. And then I was also extremely impressed with Ron. I'm going to cover why. Like, I did not expect this. In fact, when I met Ron in that first meeting, he was a little put off by my first video because for those of you who saw it, I was pretty skeptical. And, he had said he would have liked to have spoken with me first before putting that out there, which I totally understand. To him, I'm doing these reviews and I'm coming at it from a very skeptical, cautious position. I don't have time to meet with all of the owners and CEOs early on. Had I known what I know now, I would have approached it very differently because this is an extraordinary person. I was very impressed with Ron and a very unique situation. And I'm going to try to communicate that to you. I tried to leave it open for that. I always try to do that, but I had legitimate concerns and I wanted to communicate those. And again, I'm going into looking because most cryptocurrency opportunities are crap. And that was something I knew even 9 months ago coming into the market, but I'm an influential marketer and I made a big mistake 9 months ago because I came to the market green behind the ears. And so I'm just overly cautious. But I'm telling you, this thing is different. I'm extremely excited about it, and I feel very fortunate. One of the concerns I had was, and this is actually the showing of estimated earnings. So he addressed that. I'm going to talk about that, and it makes complete sense. And then, that was an FTC concern, the least of my concerns, but nonetheless, I mentioned it, and I want to address that issue. And then the bigger issue for me was how the SEC was going to interpret this. Is it giving financial advice with the daily signals and the live signals where they're literally telling one of the, a couple of the products are letting people know, possible good buys in the marketplace and so forth. So he addressed that very, very well. I'm going to address that today. But first, I just want to talk about my conversation with him that I had just the other day on Friday. And again, at least a couple of hours. He was very generous with his time. I've got some things I want to say here that they just kind of have that they have on their About Us page. And then I want to talk about my personal, feelings about the conversation because I think it's really important and related to mistakes in character I've made in the past with a particular opportunity that I took part in last fall, my first cryptocurrency opportunity. For those of you who don't know me, I've been extremely successful as a marketer for decades. Most people know me from the marketing and internet marketing arena, back, from the early 2000s. For those who don't, that's what I'm good at. But I came into cryptocurrency very late and in my early development of it, ended up aligning with a company, and a lot of you probably heard of them, that I trusted. And because that, I ended up losing months of time and, huge capital, and in directing my marketing to that, so turning others onto it, and I trusted the owners of that. But I never met them like I met Ron. I never talked with him like I talked with Ron. And so I want to really cover this. I think this is really big, and you guys will get to make this decision. Again, right now you can get involved with Unifii at no cost because it's pre-launch. You can get a position, and then you can figure this out before they launch later this month. And you'll get to meet Ron. He's agreed to come onto a webinar, and you'll get to make these decisions for yourself. And I think that's what's really important. And in addition to that, I'm going to want to introduce you separately to their CMO, their marketing guy, who impressed me really well. Very different than anything I've seen in the crypto space so far. More in alignment with the most integrous network marketing companies, which there's only a handful of them in my experience. The leadership, with depth and with passion for helping people and being good communicators, and that's what I got from these guys, which I hadn't run into yet in the crypto space. Here's what they put out, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my take on my meeting with them. So this is on Monterulli, the CEO of Unifii. He has a strong understanding of traditional and digital financial markets, and I was deeply impressed with rather extensively things that he ran through, which I'll get into a little bit more when we talk about the educational product, because it's much more than just cryptocurrency. Very, very impressed. I put a little flag next to this. It states this on the About Us section. I want to kind of drill down on this. Passionate, helping others learn how to profit in these markets. His passion for helping others came through loud and clear. I mean, just his beingness, who he is. He's definitely got his heart in the right place, and it's obvious. Again, I'll let you guys be the judge of that before you have to make any commitment to this whatsoever. I think that's really important. As an executive for 2 different billion-dollar global enterprises, has obtained a keen understanding for structuring and running global companies, creating momentum, and supporting global growth. While serving others in the direct sales industry, Ron, it's important he has this experience. Ron has had the privilege of leading organizations and developing culture in 26 different countries. In addition to his native English, he's also learned to speak French and Spanish, and it sounds to me like fluently. I mean, he broke into both French and Spanish just right on the fly, which matters, when you're developing other markets. It's a big help. But anyway, I just want to talk a little bit more about my impressions in connecting with him for so long. He came across to me as very generous as a human being, very empathy driven and compassionate, which is something I did not get and did never mention that I got from anyone else in the crypto industry space. It's just not what I felt before, and I never mentioned that. It's something that I get from him, and I'll let you be the judge of that. And for me, that's now a very important thing to feel, that the leadership of a company really, really cares on a personal level about what he's doing and the impact he's going to have. And he talked a lot, and so did the CMO, John, about the vision of the company and making a positive impact and very specific aims in that area, which I'll want to talk about with him for you guys to hear on a webinar before you have to make any kind of commitment with this thing. I want you to get a sense of who he is and the deeper, more driven, I think, aim that they have for the entire organization. Now, one of the big issues that I had that he addressed very well was this FTC concern that I had of, showing estimates. Nobody's paid any money yet, and there's these numbers in the back office. So if associates were to go out there and flash these numbers and use them as a marketing spiel, and it's okay for me to show you these numbers, but not if I'm showing them as a spiel for you to get in. Then it's an issue. And they have very strict rules around that. They both made that very, very clear. And in fact, they'll be removing some people as associates who did not follow policies, who broke those rules before they launch. And you can tell in his demeanor about it. They're very strict on compliance. So, as long as somebody's not using something like this to promote it and making people think that numbers represent what somebody's going to earn, then the FTC doesn't have an issue with it. So this is in the back office protected, password protected, and not to be used as marketing content. And that satisfied my concern with the FTC and their commitment to compliance in that department. It was clear to me that they understood it and that they were going to be strict on it. And that's important. My bigger concern that was really important that he helped me overcome was this, I mentioned earlier, the daily signals and the live signals, the SEC's concern of us making commissions, referring people to something that perhaps the SEC I was concerned with might consider financial advice because we're not financial advisors. And I saw this actually before I met him, but after I made the video, which addressed the concern, I spoke with them extensively about it. And this is great. I mean, this is something I was not aware of. And for those of you that were with USI, this may be bringing a flashback where everyone talked about, oh, this was the legal opinion of some random law firm in Chicago. Well, this is different. Here we're referencing an actual law. So this is rock solid for me. Of course, anything's possible in terms of interpretation, but that any state regulatory body might have. But I mean, this is as rock solid as it gets. And certainly no one can point fingers and say anyone was doing wrongdoing when you have a law. And let me just kind of read through this law that establishes what they're doing as publishers. And as a publisher, they qualify to be able to offer this kind of content and information without being construed as giving financial advice that would require that we be financial advisors. So check this out. Products and Services Regulatory Compliance. Unifii Corporation LLP is classified as a publisher of financial news and information, and therefore exempt from having to be considered as giving financial advice and for us to have to be financial advisors. This is an exemption provided in the U.S. Securities Investment Advisor Act of 1940. We provide financial research and information to the public. So you'll see a lot of subscription services that provide specific information on stock picks, all kinds of stuff, and they're all protected and they fall under that same category. So there's a huge precedence for this that we're all familiar with, and that totally makes sense. So it's information they're providing to the public, but it is the big thing. It is completely at the discretion of the individual as to whether they will use the information or not. And it gives a quote: a publisher of any bona fide newspaper, news column, newsletter, news magazine, or business or financial publication or service, whether communicated in hard copy form or by electronic means or otherwise, that does not consist of the rendering of advice on the basis of the specific investment situation of each client. So that's the deal right there. I won't read more of it because that sums it up. The deal is, if we're totally protected by any concern or issue with SEC, as long as we're not giving specific advice to an individual that they should do this or they should do that, they should take a certain percentage, $40,000 of their portfolio and put it into this. Advice specific to them is what you cannot do, and we're certainly not going to be doing that. So this is fantastic, and this was a law I was not familiar with. So I'm excited about it. I mean, this is rock solid. Again, this is not some legal opinion from some random law firm that may or may not be right. This is an actual law. And when you take a step back and you realize just how many other companies, organizations, from newspapers to, it even covers, again, not just newspapers, magazines, but businesses, financial publications, or services. As long as they can give this information, as long as they're not giving specific advice to specific clients that are based on a specific situation to that client. Fantastic. So that left with, okay, the product, which, I think it's fantastic. They have daily signals, which alerts us of awesome picks. Live signals, basically the same and faster. The altcoin report, fantastic. But what I'm most interested in is Prosperity U. And my initial excitement about it was it'd be fantastic for our system. We have a marketing system, most of you know. generates leads, attracts people that are looking for generating cryptocurrency commissions through sustainable solid means to be able to build their Bitcoin and altcoin portfolio called Blockfolio. We were missing something. We were missing education for newbies. So I was excited about cryptocurrency education for newbies. And I am deeply impressed with the layers of organization and thought and depth that has gone into that. And to be able to address the newbies so that we have a solution for them to understand and learn what blockchain is, about investing, about the whole gamut, before just having them jump into like what we were, promoting before only. And our system will still have this, but crypto world evolution with the Autobot, that's a big leap for somebody who's brand new. And that's a big commitment. It's very scary, particularly in a bear market, to be in an Autobot. We need something for newbies to be able to generate cryptocurrency commissions without the fear of loss and the roller coaster ride. They need to be educated. And so this is a fantastic product. And again, the way that it's organized and it is well thought out as it is, and because of his experience, because Ron's doing a lot of this, it is very impressive, but it goes even deeper. And this is the part that I didn't know that gets me really excited. It goes much, much deeper. They're going to continue to add to this beyond just cryptocurrency. So we're not just relying on the volatile market of cryptocurrency, but they're actually going to be expanding the product line. And it's all built to be able to allow for this, because organization of digital content is huge. And they're building their own proprietary, they got a Silicon Valley technology firm building this for them so that they can add blocks to this and add new digital products to this that expand outside cryptocurrency. It's very impressive. And because I've built complicated technology platforms before that were information based, I understand the complexity of it. And I knew that they knew what they were doing. And it's their CTO who's a rock star, their technology officer, that allows them to be able to pull all this off, because it is extremely difficult to be able to organize this information so it's easy to navigate. The user interface is good. Like, they know what they're doing. And that deeply impressed me. And they're going to expand. Like, let me just give you an example, just so you understand what I'm saying. So to teach people like how to know how to invest, not just in cryptocurrency, but with all kinds of different markets, and to have like an awareness can change everything. So as an example, setting up a trust, being able to leverage things that often the wealthy only have access to because most people just aren't aware of them. Pretty powerful stuff, life-changing stuff when you know this. So they're going to go way beyond just your, surface cryptocurrency education. They're going to go deep, but break it down for the newbie. And after meeting with them, I am convinced they have the technology know-how, but more so the communication skills to be able to accomplish that exceptionally well. So I'm extremely excited about it. It surpassed my expectations tenfold of what it needed to be for me to be excited about it. I can't say enough good about the experience I had in meeting both their CMO, which is their marketing guy, which I will introduce to you guys here soon in a webinar, but also Ron, the CEO. Both of them impressed me, and you'll get to meet him and make your own decision. There's no commitment between now and then other than just getting a free position and to learn a little bit more. And then when the time comes, you can make a decision if you want to be a part of this or not, but at least you'll have a position in here and you'll be part of the pre-launch. One of the big opportunities I'm providing to you guys is I'm willing to build you a funnel, a marketing funnel, to take advantage of the pre-launch. And it will be specific to the pre-launch. I'm putting this together now, and by Monday it will be ready. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. And you don't have to pay for it. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Now, if you want to use our more comprehensive system after pre-launch is over, there might be a cost to you unless you're already in our team. But you can actually leverage this for free and get a system built for you now, right away, during pre-launch. I mean, again, if there's too many people coming at us and we're building them for free, there's a limit. I'm going to talk about the details of this, but we're going to do everything we can to include as many people as we can into taking advantage of this pre-launch, because I think it's an extraordinary opportunity. Those are just some screenshots of some of the systems we have up and running now, and we're going to keep building more. Those of you who are part of our group already, I'll talk with you as well at the end of this so you understand how we're going to move forward. And those of you who haven't been with us before, but you want to tap into our marketing funnel and our marketing and our help during pre-launch, which is only going to be like a week or two more, I'll let you know how you can plug into that as well. But ultimately, I just want to really emphasize, I encourage everybody at this point to definitely get a position with Unifii. If you were waiting for my follow-up, I was deeply impressed for the reasons that I've covered. For those who don't know what a marketing funnel is, like you drive traffic. You know, whether it's advertising or what I like to show people how to do now. More so, what we're focused on now is free marketing using YouTube. And if you don't have a YouTube channel, we help you. And we've been helping a lot of newbies drive traffic to a lead capture page that we build for you. And then the automation starts working. You know, follow-up emails start going out, and content that I've created for you moves people through the process and learning about everything. Now, the first funnel that we build here in pre-launch for Unifii will be extremely simple, so we can get them built quickly. But then after Unifii launches officially, we'll build more comprehensive funnels, typical of what we usually do. And I'll talk more about that. So here's a snapshot. Nick Brown had created this, showing a more comprehensive view of what our funnels typically look like. I'm not going to go through it right now, but they're typically very comprehensive in design, but extremely simple for a prospect, and extremely simple for you because we build it for you. And then we like help you do the marketing to drive the traffic, free traffic. And now we're going to have an advertising funnel because Unifii allows for that, because it's going to be a great message, you know, cryptocurrency education and prosperity education, even beyond just cryptocurrency. It's beautiful. Signals and that, et cetera, altcoin reviews. Like, it's really, really powerful. And they're such good communicators, and they really know what they're doing with their user interface. In fact, you can tell that their site is extremely well designed already for a pre-launch company. It's just absolutely amazing. So anyway, our funnels are usually very, very comprehensive. We will not launch, or the pre-launch funnel for Unifii will not be this comprehensive, but then we will launch another version that I'll talk a little bit more about how that's all going to be set up. But for those that don't know what we're doing, I provide you the videos. You can see this one has 950 views, which I just posted like 2 days ago, so it's going to keep getting more views. This one has 17,500 views because I posted it quite some time ago. And where this little red line is where we put the link to the funnel. And I give those videos to the people who use our funnels, and then that drives traffic. Now, if you have a brand new YouTube channel, it will take a time for yours to start getting a lot of traction, but it's worth it. We're doing everything we possibly can, including teaching you how to, and you actually, it's amazing, people who've never done before, they're afraid to do videos. You don't have to be in the video, by the way. In fact, there's ways to do them where your voice doesn't have to be in them, but you'll be surprised how easy it becomes with our support. And you get to leverage the actual videos I'm giving you and just kind of supplement that so that YouTube sees your channel as unique. We help you through all this to generate free leads. And then you get a notification in your email box every time. I block the name and email, but to protect their privacy. But you get a message like this every time someone comes in through your lead capture page, which we build for you. And again, we're going to build one for pre-launch, even before Unifii is open, for as many views we possibly can. And here's just like, this is June 2nd, and it keeps going. Like, this is just a snapshot of community leads coming in. Like, it works, is my point. I just wanted to like really point out it works. These were all free leads that our community is generating, and so much more. I mean, that's just a little snapshot. On top of that, inside of our groups, we're helping people. I wanted you to see what Tristan wrote here just to give you a feeling of this. And this was just tonight. I mean, it's happening all the time. Hey guys, love to hear some feedback on this. My first video with me in it. See, because a lot of the people that we work with never did this before, never thought they could. But when you keep seeing the videos I'm giving you that you're posting, and then you start to get views and start to get some leads, even if it's just one lead, or you're seeing that others around you are when you're first getting your channel started, and you start to see the pattern. And I'm teaching all these strategies. It's not just about pumping out a bunch of videos like everyone thinks. Like, there's little strategies that are so cool that make YouTube effective at generating free leads that a lot of people just don't know. And as you learn this stuff and you're around all of us, you automatically get the confidence to give it a go, to supplement the free, the content I'm giving you. He goes, probably a bit long, but I really wanted to get in it connection to me, and I wanted to provide some real value at the same time. I didn't have a chance to listen to his yet. I mentioned that I'll give him some feedback in a couple of days, but some other people did, and it just gives you an example